Scrum has made sure developers are in at least one meeting a day, and sometimes even 3. Ever heard that before? Today, we're diving into a burning question many developers ask. Is Scrum making us spend too much time in meetings? Let's find out. Let's start with what often feels like a meeting overload. Imagine this. On the last day of a sprint, the team has all 4 Scrum events lined up. First, the daily Scrum. Then, a sprint review by noon. A retrospective in the afternoon. And finally, sprint planning for the next sprint. That's 4 meetings in one day. Sounds like a lot, right? But before we point fingers at Scrum, let's zoom out. According to a study by Clockwise, a typical software engineer spends 10.9 hours per week in meetings. And GitLab's DevSecOps survey says developers spend 33% of their time in meetings. That's 1/3 of the workweek. Now, are meetings all bad? Not really. If everyone on the team works solo with no shared goals, maybe you don't need meetings, aside from casual check-ins. But then again, is that really a team? A team works together toward a common goal, and that takes alignment, collaboration, and conversation. Meetings, the meaningful ones, help make that happen. Tools like Slack or Teams are great, but they can't replace real-time interaction. Think about a sprint review. A stakeholder's reaction, their body language during the demo, tells you whether the product hits the mark, and you can't get that from an emoji. Now let's talk Scrum meetings, the official ones. There are only 4 events, and they're all time-boxed. Sprint planning, 2 hours per week of sprint duration. Daily Scrum, 15 minutes per day, that's 1.25 hours per week. Sprint review, 1 hour per week of sprint. Sprint retrospective, 45 minutes per week. Add it all up, that's less than 5 hours a week. And most teams finish sooner as they mature. So why does Scrum sometimes feel like too many meetings? It usually means something's off. Here are some common anti-patterns. The daily Scrum turns into a detailed status update. Sprint planning becomes a backlog grooming session. Meetings go overtime, ignoring the time box. Management joins and derails conversations. Or worse, meetings are added that aren't even part of Scrum. None of that is Scrum's fault. It's a sign that Scrum is being misapplied. Here's the real takeaway. Scrum is designed to limit how much time we spend in meetings. When done right, it's focused, efficient, and purposeful. In fact, you might spend more time on coffee breaks than on Scrum events. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by meetings, take a step back and ask, are we following Scrum? Or just calling it Scrum? Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Agile and Scrum insights. And hey, what's your biggest meeting challenge? Let us know in the comments below.